In our next portion, we have one question for the group where each member will have a few minutes to provide their perspective on the following. Given the complexity and interconnectedness of today's modern warfighting platforms, in your personal experience, what is one of your organization's most pressing challenges in delivering cutting-edge technology through the acquisition pipeline rapidly? So we'll go through the lineup in the previous order, starting with Dr. Antonik. But in short, again, I'll repeat, in your experience, what is one of your organization's most pressing challenges to delivering cutting-edge technology through the acquisition pipeline rapidly? Dr. Antonik?
So thank you, Dr. Wysocki. So this is an easy one for us. So in the area that the challenge is, in the area that we work in, information technology, that technology advances at a much faster rate than our acquisition system is designed to handle. The span between basic research to fielded system is very short. Unlike, say, rocket engines, which may be a 20 or 30-year development cycle, information technologies have a new generation basically every 18 months. So that is a challenge. But things are being done in that area. You saw the presentation from the Joint AI Center earlier and from Mr. Wert just now. Mr. Wert has actually been a pioneer in advancing some of these technologies to actually help us transition these technologies sooner. As I mentioned earlier, our director says that everybody wants our technologies. We have no shortage of demand for that technology. The trick is to get it over what we call the valley of death into the fielded systems. But the great strides, I think, are being made in that area. Over.
Thank you, Dr. Antonik. Dr. Carter?
I think I'd have to echo Dr. Antonik's answer and add on, I think part of the challenge in the Airman Systems Directorate is many of our technologies end up connecting with our sister TD's technologies. And so finding those right connections and integrating those so that we can transition them together. But it's that time frame, being able to get the acquisition system to work as fast as our technology development is always a challenge.
Thank you. Dr. Luginsland, any comments on the basic research aspect of this?
So I'm going to associate myself with both the sets of comments ahead of time of the previous speakers, but one of the things that we find to be a challenge is that oftentimes the basic research doesn't fit nicely in a basic research bid. So there's a breakthrough in basic research, it goes to the applied research, it goes to 6.3, and then it gets into systems of record. That never happens as a linear process. It actually bounces back and forth, and things come back to us as our friends in, say, AFRL find 6.2 and 6.3 funding and discover new things that need to be discovered. So keeping an integrated team of that whole cycle of science while still keeping the appropriate work at the basic research level, the appropriate work at the associate, at the applied level, and so on. So that is an interesting challenge that we are working. A thing that has really helped us is both the SBIR and STTR program, and also the new AFWorks and SpaceWorks, which they really are teaming with us to try and handle that, dare I say, sorry for the physics joke, the nonlinear function of how things move through the valley of death.
Yes, thank you very much. And Mr. Wagner.
Yeah, they just removed the question, but I'll try, thank you. I'll try to remember it. The most pressing challenges. So number one, I would say understanding where the problem is. So, and that's why I think instrumentation is so crucial. It's not as useful to put in cutting edge technology to a place where we to introduce cutting edge technology into a place where a deeper problem exists. So investing in the right place is number one. Number two, I would say, at least from a SAF-CN perspective, we have a lot of networks that we've already invested into. And so the continuity of operations and the continuity of those networks is really important. And so as we send funds into those programs, it's difficult to then find ways to innovate and invest into cutting edge technology. And so that remains a challenge for us, that basically we need to find savings in the old programs to invest into the new. Thanks.
Yeah, copy that. And finally, Mr. Wert.
Hey, Brian. As you know, there's a lot of innovation going on across the Air Force right now, and the challenge will be when they want to assign that to a program executive officer or make it a program of record. At some point, we're going to have to make hard choices. That's an easy one. I really want to get into more strategic thought here. I think that our biggest problem is the commonly held view that a system must meet all of the hundreds of requirements that we assign against it in order to be actually useful. Agile DevOps has broken through that with software, recognizing, delivery risk and recognizing the cost of delay. The fact is, every system we field, we immediately then turn and modify. So what does a min viable product look like beyond software? Because, in reality, that's what we're going to do. I think this is going to be an interesting area to explore, especially with respect to machine learning. Because there are going to be situations where we're going to want to field a somewhat useful machine learning application or algorithm. But in order to reach its full potential, it actually has to learn on the operating system itself. This would be a good area to explore and help us drive parallel operations, rapid modification, and adoption of technology.
Thank you, Mr. Wert. It's amazing to me to have such a distinguished panel together, from basic research through fielding and sustainment. I could talk to this panel all day for your insights, but in respect of your time and to stick to the schedule, I want to thank everyone for your thought leadership and your comments today. And we appreciate your time for participating in the Trusted AI at Scale Pitch Day. Thank you.